Natasha Daya is an Iranian-born, Canadian-raised high school teacher, wife, and new mom to her 8-month-old baby girl Arya. After completing her honors Bachelor of Arts with a double major in economics and French and a minor in sociology, Natasha continued her studies and became a teacher at York University, where she earned her Bachelor of Education in the Intermediate Senior Division. She enjoys her career as a teacher to teens within the Toronto District School Board, where she promotes and runs groups and programs for yoga, fashion, business, and entrepreneurship. During her spare time, Natasha loves the culinary arts, photography, sewing, home decor, and natural and holistic methods of wellness and healing. She is an advocate for positivity, female empowerment, and providing support to infertility experienced women. And this is her journey.
A lot of people ask me, what does faith mean to you? And I'd have to say that faith is truly my driving force. It's the thing that I turn to in every situation of my life. It's what gives me strength when I feel hopeless, when I'm upset. It's what gives me the hope and something to look forward to when I'm worried or I have a doubt about something. And it's what gives me my gratitude and when I'm so thankful when something is good in my life, when I'm happy. So in every situation of my life, this faith that I have and this faith that has built to become stronger and stronger is what has been that driving force and is what keeps me going in every situation, in every decision that I want to make, either it be a small decision or an important decision. It's really what grounds me and what gives me that reminder to stay strong and to have trust in Him, to have trust in God. And as somebody who didn't practice when I was young, I come from an Iranian background, and I really didn't practice too much when I was younger. As I grew and as I had positive influences from friends and peers and through a lot of research myself, I found that my faith became stronger and I decided to learn more. And I actually didn't know how to read Arabic or read Quran for many years. And I decided to learn to read, and within 5 years, I learned the skills to be able to read Arabic and to be able to pronounce correctly the Quranic ayats. And actually, by the time I was 30, I was able to read and pray the Quran from cover to cover, which was a huge accomplishment for me. One of the biggest, more so than my education and anything else. I felt really proud of myself that I pushed through. My faith is really my everything, and without my faith, I feel like a lot of the good things that have happened in my life really wouldn't have if I didn't have that iman and have that faith. My faith is something that also became a part of my life when I decided to make it an everyday thing by involving being modest. And when I wanted to become modest, that is when I decided to change my daily wear, and I decided that I wanted to wear a hijab. And my hijab was extremely important to me. For 29 years, I never wore a hijab. And when my husband and I decided that we wanted to make the intention to go for Hajj and complete our pilgrimage, we knew that it would be life-changing. I didn't realize at the time how life-changing it would be, but after spending a month in Saudi Arabia and after completing my Hajj, I knew in my heart that the connection I had made with Allah and the discipline I had developed while I was there, it was just so spiritually enlightening that I knew that once we even left Saudi, I knew that the hijab had just become a part of me. It wasn't just a cloth. It wasn't just something to cover my hair. It had something that was connected to my heart. It was something that was connected to my soul. And I knew that it was going to be something that was going to help me better myself, not only as a Muslim woman, but as a person, as a wife, as a daughter, as a friend, as a teacher, and teach me to be the best version of myself in my akhlaq and in my daily dealings with all of those around me. when I did actually come back from Saudi Arabia and I decided to wear a hijab, shockingly to my husband, he actually didn't know that I wanted to continue wearing it. And when I came out of the airport on our stop, we went to the airport. We were landed in London, and we went to change and to freshen up. And we both changed out of our my abaya, and I came out, and I had my regular clothes on, my North American clothes, and I had my hijab on. And my husband said to me, "Oh, we're out of Saudi now." And I said, "No, I know, but I just feel like I want to keep it on." So we came back to Canada, and as I met family and met friends who came to visit, they all noticed that I still had this on there, and I still had the hijab on. So I think everybody sort of figured and accepted that this is what I was going to do. The hardest part was telling my parents, who aren't as practicing, that I wanted to wear a hijab. And to my surprise, they were so supportive. My family, my cousins, my sister, they were all very, very supportive. And it made me so happy that it was just really an insecurity that I felt was just put into my head by my surroundings and by this negative environment that we all think that the media portrays against Muslim women. But truly, my coworkers and my principal and my colleagues were all so supportive, and I actually got a very positive reaction, and people told me, "Oh, you look so beautiful in a hijab. Oh, it suits you so well." So the nervousness turned into something so positive that I knew that that was what was for me. I knew that my heart and I knew that my soul needed it. And I knew that it was a new chapter of my life. A lot of people I know out there who probably felt like I did, who were nervous, who don't know if they'll be accepted by family or friends. Always remember that your decision is a positive one. It's something that brings a lot of blessings. It's something that will bring positivity, regardless of somebody who may not be comfortable with it. And even if you want to try it out for a day, even if you want to try it out for a certain situation or event, just do it and just see how you feel. It's not something that you can just maybe decide overnight. And sometimes it could be, but it really is something that if you feel in your heart is for you. I really just want to encourage those who feel like they want to try and feel like they want to start wearing a hijab or even more modest clothing, that it's not something that has to be negative, that it really could be something positive, and you'd be surprised how many people would actually support your decision. Who doesn't want children? Everybody wants children. Well, at least a lot of my friends. And in 2008, my husband and I got married, my fiance at the time. And we spent a couple of years enjoying each other's company and traveling and really spending time with friends and being young. In 2010, we decided that we wanted to start a family and obviously began to try. Now, when I was young, I always had certain symptoms, personal issues that I knew needed to be seen by a doctor. And at a very young age, I was diagnosed with PCOS, which stands for polycystic ovarian syndrome. And to many, this might be something that's so common, and to some who've never heard of it at all. It is a condition that can cause different symptoms, negative symptoms, and usually is connected to somebody in your family that has to do with either diabetes or insulin resistance. And it does affect your reproductive system. And at a young age, I was told that I had this condition and that I might want to consider fertility treatments, or I might not be able to get pregnant when I was older. Of course, at the time, it wasn't something that you're considering because you're young. I was in university. But after I started trying and my husband and I realized that it wasn't happening, we did consult with my family doctor who started me on treatment. And after we started the treatment, with unsuccessful rounds of medications, we started to see a fertility clinic, and the fertility specialist began other diagnosis and doing testing, and we came back to the same conclusion that it was the polycystic ovarian syndrome, that it was not something that was an issue, medical issue with my husband, that it was something that it was my issue. So of course the first thing you think is, oh, this is my fault. But it really isn't. And it's something that you have to accept that is, firstly, it's from Allah. It's something that you have to deal with. It's a challenge that is yours. Everyone has their challenges, and lo and behold, this was mine. So when we decided to start the fertility treatment, it was a decision that we made together. We were on the same page and knew that we needed help. We knew that it was okay to seek help from medical doctors, and it was okay to consult with others who may have had the same issue. As we started this fertility treatment, we did medications, which involved injections, oral medications, constant blood tests, ultrasounds, doctor's visits, sometimes every other day. It was extremely tiring, it was extremely draining, and a lot of the time very disappointing, because when you enter in that path, you have an expectation to see a result. And when that result doesn't happen, of course, you're left with a situation where you, of course, start to feel hopeless. So as we continued with the fertility treatment, there was continuous unsuccessful rounds. We saw different fertility doctors. We saw traditional Chinese medicine. We did acupuncture, homeopathic medicine. We saw a homeopath when we traveled to India in 2014, all unsuccessful. We did IUIs with medication, pretty much everything you can think of. We saved up and we made the decision to try in vitro fertilization, which is IVF. Now, this is obviously a procedure that is difficult mentally, physically, financially. So for us, it was important, first and foremost, that we put our faith in God, that of course, the doctors are there to help us, but that we have to have faith that God is going to put what was needed for us into the doctors and into the medication to help us. After going through a month and a half of IVF, we completed the procedure and transferred the embryos. And of course, we had to wait for implantation to see if I would be pregnant. And unfortunately, due to the poor egg quality, we did not have a positive pregnancy test. At that point, we took a break until the early of 2015. We decided to just take a break and just not pursue any fertility treatment and just do natural methods. In February of 2015, I actually had a laser laparoscopy, and we had the surgery to help with possible endometriosis. As it turns out, I did not have endometriosis. However, I did receive a positive pregnancy test the following month, and I didn't even know. I went to see the doctor when I was actually noticed that something was not right, and he told me that I was actually pregnant. However, I was having a miscarriage. So to think that you finally have a positive pregnancy test that you've never had before and that you didn't even know that you were pregnant, and to be told that that baby is leaving is definitely very, very difficult. We decided to continue with fertility treatment and to not give up. In August of 2015, we tried a different protocol with IVF. However, my doctor canceled the procedure due to lack of follicle growth. So at this point, I didn't even have enough eggs to even make embryos to even be able to do the entire procedure. And I think that was my breaking point. And we decided that it was time to make a change. We put all fertility treatment aside. We realized that Allah was trying to tell us something, that He was trying to guide us in a path that did not involve the fertility, and that I needed to make a change in my life, something different. So we turned to Allah and we turned to natural methods. In early of 2016, we met a couple who had adopted a beautiful little boy from Morocco, And we met them and we met their son and decided that that was going to be what we were going to do. We were going to follow in their steps and we were going to adopt. In March of 2016, we were ready to meet with this couple. We were ready to start the adoption process and to adopt. We were even thinking of names and how we were going to do it and when we would go abroad to adopt. And the week that we were supposed to meet and start the adoption process, I noticed something different. And of course, then 1 week later received a positive pregnancy test. So that was at the end of March of 2016, which has resulted in my beautiful baby girl, Arya. We had a baby shower, something that I never thought I would have. It was always a dream of mine to have a baby shower. And I always used to think that I'm never going to have the opportunity to do this. Every time I would attend someone else's baby shower, I knew that I don't think I'll ever have one. So when I finally had my baby shower, which happened to be on my 33rd birthday, it was a really special day for me. It meant a lot to have people that I love around me, and it really just confirmed this gift that I had finally been given after so long. With gratitude comes more blessings. And whenever in life you're presented with a challenge, whenever in life there's something negative that comes, you have to remember why it's there, that there's khair in everything, that Allah presents things to you in a certain way. So don't lose hope and always remember that there's something else that's going to be coming after. That through all of the fertility treatments, that through all of these years of sorrow, of stress, of disappointment, and of difficulty during my pregnancy, in the end, I got to hold my baby girl. Having a lot of time to ourselves, my husband and I spent a lot of that time traveling and enjoying each other's company. So as a single couple without really any responsibility besides ourselves, it was quite easy to be able to book a trip, pack a bag, and travel, to be able to walk the streets of Paris, to be able to climb up on the stones in Egypt, in the Giza pyramids, to be able to walk the Haram in Saudi Arabia, in Mecca. All of these things, all of these experiences have really made us better people. Traveling to me truly means that you are expanding your horizons. It really gives you this open perspective of the world. It helps you learn. You're almost like a lifelong learner. And every time we've traveled to a new place, rather it be somewhere far or it be somewhere just close to another city, it really has given us the experience to become better people. Now, when we had our daughter, we really thought, can we travel with a child? Can we travel with a baby? Most people always said, oh, enjoy your time. You don't have kids yet. Just because when you have kids, you're not going to be able to do this. When baby comes, you're not going to be able to do that. And we thought to ourselves, of course, it's harder. Of course, there are more responsibilities. There's definitely a lot more you have to pack with a baby. But we really thought to ourselves, how can we show our daughter the things that we've seen? How can we show her that the sky's the limit? How can we show her that the world is your oyster and that there's so much to see, that Allah has created this beautiful world. Allah has created beautiful beings that look different, that speak different languages, that eat different foods, that have different cultures. And how can we embrace that? So we thought to ourselves, let's take a family trip. So when my daughter was about 5.5 months, we decided to take a trip to Hawaii. Now, Hawaii is about almost an 11-hour flight. So we really ventured out for her first trip. She was on the airplane for a 2-hour flight and then a 9-hour flight. And while we were in Hawaii, we really decided that just sitting on the sand and beaches is not going to be enough for us. That it would definitely be something fun, but that we really need to be adventurous and we really need to stay young and stay active. And not just for ourselves, but really to set an example and be role models for Arya, my daughter. So we really planned an itinerary that involved climbing mountains, really taking risks, and some would call us a little crazy to take these risks and to climb these tall mountains with her and really be adventurous. But looking back at all the photos, I don't have one regret. Because as a mom, as most mothers out there can relate, we have something called mom guilt. And Over time, you develop this, what's called mom guilt, because you feel like all your life and everything you have, you want to give to your child. You want to sacrifice everything. And really, you don't have to give up everything. You don't have to become that mom who doesn't do things with her child, that only does stuff for her child. Of course, you're going to do things for your child, but we have to change that perspective and remember that we were given this gift from God, this beautiful child. Why not do things with them and show them that we can travel, we can climb mountains, we can indulge in wanderlust, we can learn new things. And I find that since we've changed this perspective and have promised ourselves that as long as we can, we're going to be there for her and show her that life is beautiful and that we can enjoy it to the fullest, as long as I can, I'm going to continue doing that for her. Growing up, I always knew that I was going to be that person who loved her friends. Since I was young, I really loved having my girlfriends around. I really loved encouraging them. My girlfriends always would ask me or to do my makeup or can you do this or can you do that for me? And everyone always asked me to do things for them. And I truly enjoyed it and I truly loved it. This really taught me something about women empowerment. And I knew that something that was important to me and in my heart was to be there for and empower the females around me, rather it be my elders or my companions, my colleagues, or even younger girls around the community. And now, of course, especially my daughter. But growing up, my mom always told my sister and I that you need to focus on your own blessings. And if you always focus on the good that you have, even if it's not always good, even if you have challenges or bumps in the road, but if you never compare yourself to others, if you accept that everybody has their own path, that some people have a certain path and some people have a different path, that you'll always be reminded to focus on the positive in your own life, to be optimistic, to not ever focus on letting yourself become envious or jealous of what someone else has. And when you focus on your own positivity and when you focus on your own blessings, that's exactly what happens. You don't look for other people and what they're doing. You don't compare yourself. I find that that has always been the core of what helps women empower other women, because we don't compare. That leads to non-competition, and that leads to truly wanting the best for each other, to truly wanting to see each other grow and succeed. Now, even though I have an economics background, I've never been the entrepreneur type. I'm a teacher, and that's kind of what I've always been. My sister, on the other hand, she's always been the business lady. She's always had some sort of business of her own. And I've always felt so proud of her, and I've always been so happy to always share with other people what her new project is. Over time, since social media has grown in the past 10, 15 years, I've used my own social media to help my friends and to help other women and to help even acquaintances who I don't know well, and of course my sister and other friends, to grow their own businesses, to promote them, to encourage, empower, and to really support whatever their goals are, rather it be to sell a product or to start an initiative, a program, anything that they feel is going to help someone else, anything that I feel it means something to them or is important to them. I really want to use that inner confidence that my mom had instilled into me to put that on to others, to build their confidence, to build them up, and to really help them reach their goals and to achieve whatever it is that they desire. Because everyone has aspirations, but sometimes it really takes pushing to get some people to reach their aspirations and to reach their goals. So for me, when I find or someone tells me that I've helped them do that, or if I've made them feel better about themselves, or I've made them happy, or I've helped them do anything positive, for me, that's what makes me happy. That's what makes me realize that positive energy is contagious, and I really just wouldn't have it any other way. So my daughter, Daya, who currently is 8 months, what can I say to her? She really is the light of my light, and she's really the being that has given me hope in the world. And you, my baby girl, have shown me what true love is. You've given me that faith that anything is possible, that if there's a mountain, you can move it, that if you have challenges, it's possible to overcome them, and that the faith, anytime it's broken by a disappointment, can always be restored by turning to Allah. And what I want to tell you, my baby girl, is through all the journaling I've done for you, and all the messages I've written for you, and all the photos I've taken of you, in the end, the love that I've shown you and the love that you've shown me to feel is not comparable to anything else in this world. And that you've made me a better person. You've made me want to help others more. You've made me want to support those with infertility. And you've made me want to be a better person overall to all of those around me.